What is up, Follow Me family? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be playing HIKEBACK. This one recommended by Jim. And yeah, we're interested to see what this is all about. I have no idea what I'm walking into. So yeah, HIKEBACK. I don't know. Maybe we're going to do some hiking. Maybe there's some time involved. I have no idea. I don't even know what the controller is going to feel like. So let us get this one going. Start game. Auto options, return, quit. Is this like some sort of dialogue thing? Let me tell you a story. It was late that night when I was driving through the backwoods to visit a friend. Then I spotted something on the side of the road. That's when I first saw you. Oh gosh, what did we see? Please don't tell me it's a ghost or something, or some spirit. Sticking your thumb out, looking for a left. Oh, is this something to do like a hitchhiker? Hey, you know, not always good to pick up a hitchhiker, you know. Sometimes it's a trap. Sometimes it's a trap. Sometimes you really want to help the person. So I decided to stop and help you out. Oh, goodness. And probably it's some beautiful lady or something. The night was so dark and I could barely see your face, but I managed to catch a glimpse of you through the faded headlights. Your front was smeared with dirt and grime, and your hair stuck out in every direction. You asked me for a ride to the next town over. And I said yes. Was this a mistake? I probably hope it's not a mistake, but deep down, it's a mistake. We should have just kept driving. I watched you climb into the back seat. Oh yeah. We rode together in silence for miles. There was no radio signal out there, so music wasn't an option. I could barely hear you breathing. Sometimes I forget that you were there at all. Oh no. I could feel myself starting to nod off. The dust in the headlights swarm in lazy streams. And just as it started to drift away... Oh no. Something pierced through my stomach. Oh, of course. This is why you don't put the hitchhikers in the back seats. You put them next to you so you can watch them. Because if they're directly behind you, they can do all sorts of shit to you. Your arms were covered... What? Your arms were around my waist from behind the seat, and your fingers clutched a bloody scalpel. My throat closed up. My mind went blank. My sense screaming. I lost control of the wheel. Yeah. This is why you don't pick people up, bro. Especially if it's in the middle of nowhere. My head was pounding. Needles prickled across my skin. Cuts and shattered bone and shrapnel. Every breath I took was harder than the last. There was no one else in the woods. There was no one else around to help me. I was going to die here. Next to me I could see you coughing up blood. Your arms were embroidered with broken glass. I asked you, why did you do it? There was no point after all. Now we're both going to die, with no one around to find our bodies. You gave me a weird smile as my vision faded to black. You spoke with a voice like gravel and sheared teeth. You told me that you couldn't help it. What do you mean you couldn't help it? It was in your nature. In my nature? End 1. Nature. I'm confused. What did we just play or witness? Can we start again? What's happening? What happens in this thing? This is one of those games where you can keep starting and change shit. Oh. Let me tell you a story. My name's not important, never liked it anyway. I was driving that night to visit a friend on the other side of the mountains. I never met the person before, but they needed my help. That was all that mattered. You're gonna go help someone you've never met or in the middle of nowhere behind the mountains? That's asking for trouble. This place was really out in the middle of nowhere. Thought not a single sign of civilization to be seen. I was messing around with the radio when I saw you. A scrawny thing in dirty clothes sticking their thumb out. So you see, I can't change, decided to stop. What the hell, you know? I felt bad for you. Maybe you really needed my help. I don't think I could ever have lived with myself and abandoned someone in a bad spot. So I flashed my headlights and pulled over beside you. You see, this is the thing. Us people with good nature will do good things, and bad people take advantage of it. As soon as I got out of the car, I could tell from the right call. Okay, now we get to see the whole person's persona. You looked like shit. Knee of your pants were scuffed. Your whole body was smugged with dirt. You decided to help badly. Me? Hey, you alright? Where you headed? You looked at me with a blank stare as I was saying nothing but meaningless noise. I sighed and took a step forward. Your eyes were weary. Look, you need a ride, right? I'm talking to you somewhere, then you can always at least give me some direction. You seem to consider this for a while. You ran your fingernails down your arm as if you were scratching at something. After a bit, you finally looked into my eyes. Is there a town nearby? I could tell by listening to you that you desperately needed a drink. Unfortunately, I didn't think a half-emptied soda sitting in my cup holder would cut it. Nearby. Not for a while yet. But there should be a gas station near the next exit. About 20-minute drive or so. You chewed your lip in silence. Do you want me to take you there? You nodded slowly. Please. So I stepped back towards the car and opened the door. See? Passenger side or back seat? Passenger side, bro. So I opened the door on the passenger side. You seem to be harmless enough. There's no point in being rude. Yeah, we don't put you in the back seat, bro, so you can stab me in the back. No thanks. You didn't move. Everything okay? Still nothing. I figured you were just nervous. I don't blame you. It was a pretty weird situation. Then you noticed you were mumbling something under your breath. Not the... Hey, no worries. It's just too much, okay? If you want, I can always call the police station nearby. No. I refused so quick I had to take a second to register it. Me, you sure? Must have struck a nerve. Without another word, you brushed past me and slid inside. I tried to give you a shoulder reassuring pat as you got in, as reassuring as I could manage anyway. You almost hit your head on the roof where my hand made contact. See? Next to me. Maybe they're gonna stab me next to me. I don't know. Hey! What? Seatbelt. And no response. I glanced over my shoulder and pointed at the belt buckle. Put it on. I'm not moving this car until you do. You blinked at me slowly before pulling on the seatbelt. You examined it like it was a foreign object, as you crossed it over your wrist and hooked it into your buckle. With a sigh, I turned back towards the wheel and started up the engine. Oh, this is going to be lovely. This is going to be lovely. What could possibly go wrong? The radio was still not working. It was really starting to piss me off. I guess there wasn't much signal this far out. And all the while, you hardly made a sound. It was like you weren't even there. But you were. I checked. Quietly as a corpse, your cheek pressed against the window. We drove for miles, endless stretches of the same road. Same trees, same dark expanse. For all we knew, we couldn't be driven in place. Things started to get blurry. My eyelids were heavy from the weight of the hours on the road. I didn't even want to risk falling asleep at the wheel, so I headed and downed the last of the energy drink. It was a long, still flat. The sugar gunk, artificial flavors all stuck to my teeth. Gross. I needed something more substantial to keep me awake. Music would have been fine, but the radios refused to cooperate. What to do? Alright. As I heard you shivering around in the seat, I realized that some friendly conversation could definitely keep me up. I hardly knew anything about you after all. Ooh, this is probably gonna get bad. You were just a total stranger. No, I'm not breaking the ice, right? So I glanced over towards you and spoke. Hey! Oh no. I managed to see your scalpel seconds before it went straight through my eye. Come on now, bro. Now it's in the eye. The next thing I knew, we were both crashing through the windshield. Well, we had seatbelts on, so we should be okay. This is bad. Like, I think we don't pick up the hitchhiker. You'll be safer that way. A tree? Or was it a boulder, maybe? I couldn't tell. As soon as my vision went red, the wheels slipped out of my fingers and we crashed straight through into something. My head was pounding. The muck was left on my eye, leaking down my chin. The only thing that kept me from passing out was the pain. Needles prickled across my skin, cut the shattered bone and shrapnel. Every breath I took was harder than the last. There was no one else in these woods. There was no one else to help us around. I was going to die here. Next to me, I heard you yelp in pain. Through the blood, I saw your knee twisted in ways I never should be. This was the end for both of us. But instead of screaming, crying, begging for my life, all I could feel was anger. My mouth started moving before my thoughts could. What the fuck is wrong with you? Every word tasted like iron. Because of this. Because of you. Now we're both dead. Even with my sight melting away, I could feel your eyes boring into me. Is this what you wanted? Your head lolled to the side and choked and gasped, wiping your mouth on your arm. The veins of your neck bulged. I could see that you clearly now. I wanted to wrap my hands around your throat and squeeze it more than I wanted anything else in my entire life. Damn. Damn, bro. No. Then, why? I pounced on your response like a rabid animal. I had to know I deserved to. I heard your nails scrape across the gravel, hair curtaining your face. Who? What? You cleared your throat and tried again. Your voice was thick with blood. Whose fault is this? Answer me. Whose fault? You is to blame for this ending. The one is to blame is me. Clarity struck me then, almost as quickly as my anger had. As ridiculous as it sounded, as much as I barely believed it myself. Me? Pardon? You sounded surprised as a fault. But the longer I thought about it, the more it made sense. If I hadn't stopped, if I hadn't picked you up, or given you a lift, then this would never have happened. Something squeezed down my chest. I couldn't tell what it was from the impact or something else. How do you figure? Somehow, it felt like you were speaking much clearer all of a sudden. But I didn't dwell on it for too long. I should have known better. Don't trust strangers, and that's alright. I wanted to laugh, but it hurt so much to even try. So I should have known better. Someone like you, how else could you have ended? All this frustration, all this blind anger and desperation, bitterness towards what I had felt. All I could feel was my regret. Regret that it had to end this way. I didn't realize how much time passed until you spoke again. It's not your fault. What? I craned my neck as best I can to catch a glimpse of you out of one eye I had left. It looked like movement from where you've been, like you were standing up against something. But that's impossible, right? You couldn't help it. You spoke so softly as you were trying to comfort me. Something pressed against my hair, something warm. Something was petting my head. You sighed. You couldn't help it. What's touching my head? You, because it's in your nature. N4, bitterness. Wow, okay. Let's see how this goes. This is going to be like looping in circles, with different decisions. This time, let me tell you a story. My name is not important. Never liked it anyway. I was driving the night to a friend on the other side of the mountains. I never met them in person, but I needed to help. That is all that mattered. This place was really out in the middle of nowhere, though. And a sign of civilization to be seen. My windshield has gotten cracked somehow. No clue when that happened. It was no big deal. The car had already been seen better days. And one little crack wouldn't do any more harm. Even though I didn't remember having it. I was messing around with the radio when I saw you. A scrawny thing in dirty clothes sticking their thumb out. So I kept driving. Yeah! So I kept driving like that. Oh, I was gonna fall for that shit. Yeah, no way. There's a stranger in the middle of nowhere. In the dark. Stranger in the middle of the dumb fuck nowhere. I was giving a lip. Are you kidding me? Call me superstitious, but that sounded like a beginning of a ghost story. And I'm sure as hell I won't plan on dying anytime soon. I still felt my eyes on me as I sped past you. All the way down the road. I never saw you again. End V. Common sense. You see, there was an ending here with common sense. Okay. What happens if we do stop again? I'm interested to see what other options are. Maybe if I... Let me tell you a story. My name's not important. Neither did I like it anyway. I was driving that night to visit a friend on the other side of the mountains. I never met the person before, but they needed my help, and that's all that mattered. This place was really out in the middle of nowhere, though, as a sign of civilization has been seen. My windshield got cracked somehow, and no clear what happened. It was no big deal, though. The car's already seen better days, and one little crack couldn't make any more harm, even though I didn't remember having it. I was messing around with the radio when I saw you. A scrawny little thing in dirty clothes sticking their thumb out. So I decided to stop. What the hell, you know? I felt bad for you. Maybe you really needed help. I don't think I could have lived with myself as bad as someone in a bad spot. So I flashed my headlights, pulling over beside you. So well, let's see what difference happens this time. As soon as I got out of the car, I could tell you were the right call. You looked like shit. The knees on the pants were scuffed and the whole body was smudged with dirt. You needed help, buddy. Hey, you alright? Where you headed? You looked at me with a blank stare as I was trying to say nothing but meaningless noise. I sighed and took a step forward. You eyed me warily. Look, you need a ride, right? I'm taking you somewhere, then you can at least give me some direction. You seemed to consider this for a while. You ran your fingers up and down your arms and you were scratching at something. After a bit, you finally looked at me in your eyes. Is there a town nearby? I could tell you weren't listening, so you desperately needed a drink. Unfortunately, I didn't think a half-empty soda can in my cup holder would cut it. Nearby. Well, not for a while. But there should be a gas station at the next exit. About a 20-minute drive or so. You choked your lip in silence. You chewed your lips in silence. What the fuck? Do you want me to take you there? You nodded slowly. Please. So I stepped back towards the car and opened the door. If I say the back seat, I wonder if that changes anything. Let's go passenger side again. So I open up the door to the passenger side. You seem harmless enough, though. There's no point in being rude. You didn't move. Everything okay? See, he doesn't want to be in the passenger seat. Still nothing. I figured you were just nervous. I didn't blame you. There was a pretty weird situation. Then you noticed you were mumbling something under your breath. Not the, hey, no worries, it's too much, okay? If you want, I could always call the police station nearby. No. A refusal too quick to take a second to even register it. You sure? I struck a nerve. Without another word, you brushed past me and slid inside. I tried to give you a shoulder pat. A reassuring pat on pat as you got in. As reassuring as I could manage anyway. You almost hit your head on the roof when we made contact. I wonder if this is going to change anything, guys. Wonder if this is going to change anything. Hey! What? Seatbelt and no response. I glanced over your shoulder and pointed out the seat buckle. Put it on. I'm not moving the car until you do. You rolled your eyes and tugged the seatbelt as though it had a conversation before. With a sigh, I turned towards the back of the wheel and started up the engine. Oh, here we go. The radio still wasn't working. It was really starting to piss me off. I guess it wasn't much signal so far out. And all the while we hardly made a sound. It was like you weren't even there. But you were. I checked, quiet as a corpse, with your cheek pressed against the window. We drove for miles, endless stretch of the same road, the same trees, the same dark expanse. For all we knew, we could have driven in place. Things started to get blurry. My eyelids started to feel heavy and the weight of hours on the road. I don't want to risk falling asleep at the wheel. Huh? The can was completely empty. Weird. It's been so sure there was some left. When did I drink it? Have I forgotten somehow? I tried to shake the sense of deja vu from my head and keep my eyes on the road. I caught you staring at me at the corner of my eye, but as soon as I noticed you turned back towards the window. I needed something more substantial to keep me awake. Music would have been fine, but the radio was still... What do I do? Oh, right. As I heard you shuffling around in your seat, I realized that some friendly conversation could keep me up. I knew hardly anything about you after all. You were just a total stranger. No harm in breaking the ice, right? So I glanced over towards you and spoke. Hey! Oh my. I managed to see your scalpel seconds before it went straight through my eye. The next thing I knew, we were both crashing through the windshield. So you didn't stab me in the eye this time. Interesting. A tree! Or was it a boulder? Or maybe, I couldn't tell. As soon as my vision went red, the wheels stripped out of my fingers and crashed right into something. My head was pounding. The mark on my left eye leaked down my chin. The only thing that kept me from passing out was the pain. Needles pricked across the skin, cutted and shattered bone and shrapnel. Everything breathed as it took harder than the last. There was no one else in the woods. There was no one around to help. I was going to die here. Next to me, I heard you yelp in pain. Through the blood, I saw your leg twisted like it never should have been. There was the end of both of us. But instead of screaming, crying, begging for our lives, all I could feel was anger. My mouth started to move before my thoughts could. What the fuck is wrong with you? Every word tasted like iron. Because of this, because of you, now we're both dead. Even in my sight melted away, I could see your eyes boring into me. Is this what you wanted? Your head lolled to the side as you choked and gasped, wiping your mouth with your arm. The veins in your neck bulged. I could see this more clearly now. I wanted to wrap my hands around your throat and squeeze you more than I wanted anything else in life. No. Then, why? I pounced on a response like a rabid animal. I know I had to know. I deserved to. I heard your nails scrape across the gravel. Hair curtaining your face. Who? What? You cleared your throat and tried again. Your voice was thick with blood. Whose fault is this? Answer me. Whose fault? Whose fault? Who's to blame for this ending? The one to blame is both of us. We got a choice now of both of us. Both of us? For some reason I remembered something. Something that haven't happened yet. Or was it something that was never meant to happen at all? My head spun. The answer that left my mouth wasn't the one either of us was expecting. We're both to blame. I beg your pardon? You sounded off guard, like you've forgotten that you were supposed to be in pain. Like this was some big play and something that wasn't supposed in script. I couldn't even remember why I was angry in the first place. I was the one who stopped. I was the one who created this whole situation. And you escalated things, got us into this point. Even if I was the one that crashed the car, even if you were the one that tried to kill me, without both actions combined, we won't be there. I couldn't tell that sense action made. I was losing too much blood too quickly. All I could feel was the overwhelming desire to rest. Rest until it all didn't hurt anymore. My good eye closed while the other one fluttered and stung. I heard you moving, I think. Moving like you were standing up. But for some reason I didn't find that strange at all. Like I've seen it before. And that's when I heard you. You were laughing. Laughing like you've never done it before. Laughing in the same sound like the imitation that's the real thing. All along. You squeezed and hiccuped and coughed. All along the blame was split. How could I have missed it? My head was spinning around. It was getting hard to understand what you were saying, much less what you meant of it all. All along, you were beings of conflict nature, one of self-sabotage and one of self-preservation. So naturally we crashed, and now we're here. You sighed, catching your breath, your voice still trembling with laughter. How wonderful do you think it would have been thoughtless, of conscience of reason? How wonderful to live one's life without conflict, and thus without regret. You choked fighting for air. You were laughing again. I suppose that was truly the nature of bad people, yes? Now that we're completely devoid of good intentions and thoughts, but that they were such thoughts and chose to ignore them anyway. End. Thoughtless. Oh, so this is going to loop around and round and round until... Is there actually an end to this? Do we actually make it out in one piece? I wonder how much more this actually changes. It hurts. What do you mean it hurts? Let me tell you a story. My name's not important, never liked it anyway. I was driving through the night. Okay, a lot of this is going to be the same type of dialogue. Okay, so I decided to stop. Like, what happens? I'm interested to see if I put them in the back seat again. Will it make it different again, or will it actually cause trouble? Because all this is the same type of dialogue. Nothing's changed here. Because first they say we're going to go to a town, now let's go to a garage. So open the back door. He kind of doesn't fight you when he goes into the back seat though, compared to before. Okay, so it's still the seatbelt thing, okay. Okay, so it's driving miles. Okay, yeah, that's because the can was empty, so we didn't have that. Still nothing from the back seat. I adjusted the review so I could get a look at you were up to. I could barely see a thing. My throat closed up. What had I been thinking letting you into my car? I had no idea who you were and what you wanted or what you were capable of. For all I knew, you could be hiding my body in a highway ditch somewhere by the morning. You were just a total stranger. How far were we somewhere safe? If something happened, who could have helped? As those thoughts swarmed my head, I heard you moving around in the back seat. My chest felt tight as panic surged inside of me. I swore that I could feel your breath on my neck. You were about to kill me. I had to do something now. So I hit the brakes. So I spoke up. I hit the brakes. So I hit the brakes. I couldn't take it anymore, so I needed you out of my car now. Without hesitation or warning, I swerved towards the side of the road and hit the brakes. Except I didn't catch a tree this time. I couldn't catch a tree in time. Wow, this has a lot of changes, eh? Reminds me of that other game that we played like a couple of years back. My legs weren't moving. My arms weren't either. My body didn't do anything as I told it would. Like a dream or a nightmare, my head was pounding. All I could do was breathe and get harder by the second. It hurt, but eventually all the pain blended together in a white noise. Dull, comforting. Needles pricked across my skin and scattered bone and shrapnel. There was no one else in these woods. No one else that could help. I was going to die here. So I managed to turn my head to the side and see you lying in a crumpled heap. Your face down, blood pooling out underneath your head. You weren't moving. This was the end of both of us. So I closed my eyes. Wow. That ended badly. You were going to kill me anyway. I just knew it somehow. A random stranger out in the middle of nowhere, all filthy, acting weird, asking for a ride. Of course you had to be a killer or some kind of bad person. At least. Anyone else would have done the same. This was the only way things could have ended. I did what I had to do for self-defense. Yeah, that was it. Self-defense. My breath shook. I did what I had to do. Right? In true self-defense. Okay, so we got another ending right there. Now, what if you speak up when he's in the back seat? That's the question. Not like that. Okay, let us get to that point again. And then we'll put them in the back seat and see if that changes if we choose that other option. Yeah, let's go back seat. Let's see if anything changes here. I heard you moving around in the back seat. My chest felt like panic surged. Were you about to kill me? I had to do something now, so I spoke up. My mouth suddenly felt very dry. With a deep breath, I spoke. What do you think you're doing? And almost as the words left my mouth, your arms wrapped around my chest from behind and could something cold and sharp press against my neck. I am merely taking precaution measures. I gripped the steering wheel like it was my last chance. Blood roared in my head. One flinch, one speed bump, that's all it took for the stranger to slit my throat. As I swallowed, my skin sank deep into the blade. How? How so? Simple. You could stop the car, kill me at any time, or drove off somewhere in the rot captivity. If you so wished, you could crash the car and watch me burn, safe behind the airbag. No, it didn't seem like the best time to mention that I took the airbags out a year ago. That's not a good call, dude. That's bad. But this way, you couldn't kill me without killing yourself, so in turn, I could not kill you without killing myself either. Thus, we are even. Does that make sense? You waited for an answer. That doesn't make sense at all. You have a point. I racked my brain around for a good answer and I came up empty. I couldn't really argue with that, now could I? I sighed, trying to think about how close I was to dying at any moment I drove. I admit it. You do have a point there, but, what happens when we make it to the gas station? You keep you from killing me at least if I stop the car? You huffed. I have no reason to. All I need is the ride. Sure. I guess why should I believe that? You're really threatening me to kill me after all. You wouldn't have, what? You would just have to trust me. Trust you, huh? We're strangers, yeah? I don't don't know a thing about you. Trusting is pretty big ask. So, can I really afford to do that? If I stop the car, I'll be throwing away the only leverage I have against you right now. Then, by the same logic, if I take the blade away, I would be making the same foolish mistake. Oh, things are getting real, yeah. We sat there in silence. I guess we're at a standstill then, aren't we? Your fingernails dug into the shoulder and scalpel nicked at my skin. I suppose we are. End. Standstill. Wow, so we got another end there. I'm so curious to know what happens if you choose the other option there. What? One more moment. What? Okay, well let's go that route then. I know we gotta go through a lot of dialogue before we get there. Because there's different choices in terms of the back seat or the front seat. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so back seat. I know there's probably an option maybe eventually, I think. Maybe we don't say anything about the seatbelt, so when we actually pop the car, they will go flying. Right? Would that be an option that we can work with? Okay, let's see how far we can take this. So I spoke up. Okay, so then we will choose the other option and see what happens. That doesn't make sense at all. I couldn't help it. My temper flared. Like hell that makes sense. The fuck are you talking about? Why would you do something like right after I stopped helping you out? Not to mention the risk of getting yourself killed. I was just trying to show a bit of kindness, that's all. I took a second to catch my breath. I wasn't even sure that all that came out from. You were just waiting patiently to finish. After a few moments you spoke again. Kindness, you say? Yeah. Heard of it? You ever considered that maybe, just maybe, all I wanted to be nice? And a fat load of good that did me. Now you're threatening to kill me for it. I felt your fingers reap against my shoulder and steadily rhythm took while I responded this time. We are strangers, are we not? Just as you had once told me. Strangers who have absolutely no reason to trust each other. Such is why you led me to this seat rather than the one beside you. You did not trust me enough to be close to you. It was a wise decision. I would have done the same. And yet, despite being total strangers, you offered to drive me out of the forest. Now, why might that be? You had no way of knowing I possessed a blade, no indication that it could possibly be a threat to you. For all that you could tell, I was completely, utterly defenseless. And even now, I cannot hope to kill you without killing myself as well. You leaned forward, your lips ghosted right against my ear. From the very beginning, I have been at your mercy. Now is what you would call kindness. I couldn't bring myself to speak. You clicked your tongue. Well then, if so, then you were just as bad as I am, aren't you? Ooh. In 3, kinship. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So we got, I think we got like pretty much all the choices, right? Is there any more? Is there any more? I'm gonna put them in the front seat this time. Because I think maybe there will be another option there. But if not, if there's no options with the front, then yeah, then maybe we've seen everything. I don't know. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if anything actually changes here. But so far, we're getting the different options, different choices. But every option I think we look at, we get killed. Okay, here we go. Yep, got stabbed in the eyeballs. Because remember, we blamed ourselves and we blamed both of us. Now, what happens if we blame them? Would that change an option? Like, how do you know if you make it out of this game, or is this just going to loop around? See, both of us have chosen me. Now if I say you, obviously you stabbed me in the fucking eye. What possible? I got gotten too heated. I spoke in a second, wheezing, feeling my lungs sting. What possible reason could you have had? None. I stopped in my tracks, mouth hung open like a dead fish. What? There was no answer, no reason at all, because it was not a reasonable thing to do. Somehow it felt like you were speaking much clearer out of all of a sudden, and I saw movement in your direction. Were you standing up? I did it because I'm a bad person. That is all there is to it. Oh shit. I couldn't keep my eye I had left open any longer. As soon as my mind raced, I felt someone, you, right next to me. Creeping heat that sent goosebumps running up my neck. Because for people like me, I heard the smile in your voice. It's in my nature. End 1, nature. Okay. What? You just never learn, do you? Is that all? Or do there other options? Because I think that's it. I don't think there's anything more. I think we've like exhausted every dialogue option. Roll back. Again? 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 As many times as it takes. No matter how long, no matter how far, no matter how much I had suffered, no matter how many times I rolled back. Because I needed to keep going. What's this now? Because I needed to keep running. Because I needed to escape the endless cycle. There. First oak, second bend, one left. So only way from here was... run. Forward. My shoes were thinning at this point. The soles couldn't take much more of the same rocks, the same twigs, the same scattered debris. Just another one of these things I had let stick around time, as obnoxious as it was. If I wasted my energy rolling back every single detail, I'll be dead by now. It wasn't worth it. So I settled for letting a few things slip through the cracks, and didn't have much stamina left as it was, exhausted, waiting at my every step, leaving me lagging behind. Already 2.5 seconds slower to this landmark, I was running out of time. Third bend, second thump, only one option. Run. So I kept running. As long as I kept moving, as long as I kept running, I'll make it eventually, right? Even if all of this was running in place. And my legs burned. I couldn't outrun her. Whoever I knew that much, I'm not stupid. But I didn't have much of a choice. If I got too far from her, like she pulling my reins and dragging me all the way back, kicking and screaming. Not this time. This time I'll make it. Whenever this time would actually be. My muscles screamed, my breath sharp, stinging. I bit down on my arm. It might to me go distracted from the ache. Pain's like an itch that way. If you ignore it, it would get only worse. Scratch it and you'll get relief. If only for a little while. Next bend, a thump. Run. Yeah, that was it. Keep running. Keep running. Keep surviving. Make it across the road and... This is turning out to be like a whole thing going down. Like... Did we make somebody else crash now? No! 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 Not again! Not again! Shit! How could I have been so stupid? The road! The road! I had waited for the car on the road. I could almost hear his voice then muffled distance as he stumbled out of his car towards that was left of my body. But with the bloody clogging up my ears, his words were lost in me. I felt his hands grip my shoulder, trying to shake me awake. Not that it mattered, that he said anyway. There was no choice. I'll settle for this ending. Even if my body was broken and bleeding, I could just roll back and everything would settle in one place. Like it never happened at all. So I willed myself to roll back. Why wasn't it working? Was I doing something wrong? All I needed to do was roll back all the way to that choice I'd made, the one that had gotten me killed. Then I could do it right this time. I could be better. So I willed myself to roll back. Almost there. So I willed myself to roll back. Further than I could. All I need to do is roll back. Yeah, here we go, like it never happened before. So I willed myself to roll back. So if I roll this back... Huh? What? What was that? That didn't happen last time, right? It's just a hitch, right? Maybe. The fuck is going on? The hell is happening now? Oh. I was back there. I definitely hadn't found not that quickly. This is a different type of hitch than punishment for rolling back too much, I suppose. Bargaining too much of the past, and eventually the past comes to collect. If I waited, I'll eventually end up where I was supposed to be. But that meant dealing with her. I sat on the edge of my cot and her folding chair across the room. Then this was one of her sessions together. Way back then. Again. Number 8. I know you'll do better next time. Training session, that is. My vision stopped behind my skull, my nostrils thick and was stretched in copper. My nose was bleeding again. I decided not to deviate from the script. I can't, it hurts. My voice was small, so fragile, so useless. I sounded like a child and I hated it. I wanted to tear the weakness right out of my throat. I know it hurts. But you need to try again, okay, number 8. Just one more time and then you can rest as long as you like. Really? My blood boiled. Do you promise? I promise. Liar. Liar, 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 liar. Now one more time. Find out what's on the other side of the card. And then roll back and tell me what it is before I show you. Do you understand? My nails dug into my arm as she spoke. Yes, ma'am. So now, if I decide to hide, the car would be passing by the road any second now. If I run, I'll get hit. So I caught myself a nasty tree and crunched down behind the bush. So now I'm the hitchhiker. But I always came the same I couldn't keep going on like this. My legs hurt, my stomach growled, my eyelids begged for the rest. I knew how this worked. I've seen it in movies. The movies I've allowed to watch in any case. I crept towards the side of the road and stuck my thumb out like I remembered. But in the movies, someone always winds up dead by the end, right? I didn't know what was the other choice I had. My scalpel hung heavy against my thigh, the one I'd been able to take from me. The one thing that kept me alive. There had to be a better ending to this. There had to be. I wasn't going to give up, no matter what it took. So he flashed his headlights and pulled over right side of the road. So now I'm playing the opposite person now. As soon as he came out of the car, I knew something wasn't right. He was too quick about it, too eager. The door shut just like a little too loudly. I just knew. He must have remembered. He remembered, and he was angry, and he was about to hurt me and kill me and send me back and leave me to rot. And then he stepped forward. Close, too close. He was too close. Close enough to grab, close enough to choke, close enough to kill, close enough to hold and squeeze and sign and whisper and tell me how much he didn't really mean it. Close enough to stab, or do I roll back? Like, what happens if you just roll back? Okay, so this doesn't change any option. Okay, so it's the same dialogue. Nothing's happened here. So now we're gonna stab the poor dude again. Oh boy. My scalpel sank into his side. I gave so easily, like dough parting around my finger, but it wasn't enough. He pinned me to the ground. My scalpel was stuck into the side of him, but this time it hadn't been fatal. He twisted my arm behind my back, and farther, I heard something snap. I screamed in the dirt, tears biting at the edge of my eyes. My arms went limp in his grasp. It hurts, make it stop, please make it stop. Hissing through my teeth, I squeezed my eyes. Oh my goodness. I had to go back. I had to. I couldn't let this end like this. I knew it was scary. I knew I had to feel it break again. But I didn't have a choice, not anymore. All it would take was a quick rewind. I had to go back. I had to. I couldn't let it end like this. I knew it was scary. I knew it wouldn't hurt to feel it break again. But I didn't have a choice, not anymore. And it would be much quicker to rewind. I had to go back. I had to. I couldn't let it end like this. Okay, we saw the eye again. Again? But why? Was I really running that low? She warned me once. Said that if I roll back too much, I'll tear myself apart, but part of me hoped that it was another one of her lies. In the case, I knew I had to do whatever I could to find out a better ending as soon as possible. No matter the cost. I took a deep breath and waited for the memory to end. No! Not this one! Anything but this one. I was trying to hide under my cot, but there was no point. She saw everything. I hugged my knees and chest as the door burst open. I heard her heels when she walked in. 2 sets of boots followed her security guards. I tried to be quiet. I tried to be still. I tried to be invisible. But it didn't work, of course. I was always wound up right there, right in the horrible limbo. A cycle that never ends. The guard pulls me out from under the cot by my ankles and slammed me against the wall, my arms pinned. I struggled, I squirmed, I bit, screamed and kicked. Nothing worked. She stood between them, her eyes boring into mine. I couldn't look away even if I tried. You know why you're in trouble, don't you, number 8? I bit my tongue to keep myself from answering on impulse. I think you do. I heard that you tried to run away again last night, number 8. The boys told me that you were quite the troublemaker, that you injured 3 of them when they brought you back home. They say you even roped a civilian into your antics, apparently convinced some poor old woman to hide you from us. Oh wow, is that all true, number 8? I tasted copper again. It's your fault. Oh? You killed her. She was the only one trying to help me and you killed her for it. Is that right? Yet, you're perfectly aware that you're capable of... Are you not? You know how much I care about you, and you know how far we'd go to bring you back to safety to us. Yet even so, knowing all of this, you still put the woman in harm's way. This woman you believe to be so innocent. Did you consider her safety, number 8, or were you just content on using her as your own selfish ends? Stop it! We didn't kill her, number 8. You did. Oh wow. Oh wow! Oh my goodness! She cupped my chin, her thumb stroking the cheek. You're not a good person, number 8. You never have been. You're a weapon, a tool, a killer, and nothing more. Don't forget that. It's in your nature. The woman met you. What? The woman you met knew that. That's why we found chloroform in her coat pocket. I didn't want to hear any of this anymore. I'm the only one who loves you for who you are, number 8. I didn't want to be here anymore. You know better now than to try and leave me again, don't you? No more, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more. This is getting crazy. Don't you, number 8. So I'm like a test subject or like a patient that's running away from some fit. That was freaking creepy. Really? No more. Breathe. I was out. Back to before he left the car. But that was fine. I remembered something important. I remember what he felt so wrong last time. I focused trying to collect my thoughts. He was just you. What? You came out of your car right on the shoulder schedule, but something was still off. That smile of yours, usually it was the first thing I saw, the last things too sometimes. But this time it was nowhere to be found. As soon as I put me on the edge, seeing you without felt some worse. Hey, you alright? Where you headed? Like clockwork. Same words in the cadence, the same ending. What could I do to make this ending different this time? I was reassuring not only the fate had in store for me, not only whatever your intentions were, but in the end, my very own nature. What do you when you're the one sticking the odds against yourself? You step closer, but I expected this in time. Not that it helps. My throat cleared up when you approach involuntary response, survival instincts. Look, you need a ride, right? So round and round it goes. I am taking you somewhere, then you can at least give me the direction. Anywhere but here. But I knew I couldn't say that. I couldn't give too much away. I picked and bite the marks on my arm, forcing myself to breathe again. Deep breaths, focus. Do better this time. I met your gaze head on and willing to voice stay stable. Stick to script. Me, is there a town nearby? And there was that smile. Almost as the words left my mouth, expression shifted. I could never get a read on you, no matter how many times I rolled back. Nearby, Not for a while yet, I don't think. I tapped my finger on the inside of my palm, trying to be patient. Next it was, but there should be a gas station next to it. About 20-minute drive. I sank my teeth into my lip. Only minor deviances so far would be enough. Do you want me to take you there? Shake head. Nod. I nodded. The lump in my throat wouldn't go any further. How hard I tried to swallow. Please. You returned the nod so slightly, but you were still smiling. Always lips with a smile. Did you even notice you were doing it? Before I could stop you, your hand made contact with my shoulder. It took a sensible self-control I had left to keep from pushing you away and taking out my scalpel. You patted me twice and then turned back towards the car. I watched you closely, making sure you opened the right door. Back seat. Good. My shoulders relaxed, even slightly. I didn't like it when you were too friendly, too trusting, made me nervous. I already seen lifetimes worth of you, but even so, I couldn't risk trusting you back. I have no idea who you really were at all. You're coming? Moment of truth. My scalpel felt cold, pressing against my skin as I climbed inside. So now we're doing the opposite way, guys. The opposite. The smell wasn't any better this time around, like the bottom of an old ashtray. Hey! My bro furrowed me. What? Seatbelt. Oh, right. For some reason, it slipped my mind that every single time. Hard to think about the road safety when you knew you could send this car hurling into the next tree at any moment. No seatbelt was gonna help. Well, no seatbelt was gonna help me there. Put it on. I'm not moving the car until you do so. Whatever. It crossed it over the chest and tugged it into the buckle without any other word. One time back when I still wasn't sure if it was, I have asked what seatbelts were for. You started asking me a whole lot of questions after that one I didn't like too much, and it didn't end well. There was about the time I realized that you couldn't know the truth, not even pieces of it. People didn't tend to take it too well when they found ticking time bombs in their car. Eternally God at the edges of the mind, a limbo of my own making. Miles passed behind us. The same road, the same trees, the same dark expanse. My nails dug into my arms. It was like torture, waiting to see what this loop would have in store for me. Would we crash? Another threat, maybe? Would we try to turn me into the police? What was it that I had to do to get right to end of this time? How long would it take until I was free? How many times would my nature get the better of me? What was I doing wrong? My eyes stung. You moved. You weren't supposed to do that. You only shifted your seat like when you were suspicious of me. I glanced up and the drink was gone. Not right. Not right. Not right. Not right. Not right at all. I left the hitch behind ages ago. More trouble than it was worth. So you were supposed to realize that it was empty when you picked it up to take a sip and then go back to driving like normal. But your cup holder was empty and it wasn't right. Not right at all. Had you realized? Did it get something wrong? Did I make it too obvious? Had I left too many hitches behind? Did you remember everything? Were you just playing along so you could get me into the back of your car and find the right moment to kill me? Or send me back to her? How much longer? How much longer until I died again? How much longer until the collared me and locked me away for good? How much longer until the windshield shattered into pieces across my chest? How much longer until... Hey. Oh God. You knew. My scalpel was in my hand already. I didn't remember how it got there. So I've been meaning to ask, what got you into hitchhiking like this anywhere? What are you looking to find in town? Were you taunting me? You had to know already. You had to. You waited for my answer. What was I looking for? A better ending. I'm looking for a better ending. I knew there was one still out there for me. I knew it. All I had to do was find it, earn it. There was no other way. Everything I had through was for nothing. A better ending? Ending to what? Everything. I thumbed the edge of my scalpel. I don't think I can catch your meaning. You have no need to. It's none of your business. I heard you snort. It's kind of, you're in my car, you know? You're not planning on doing anything dangerous, are you? The blade stung at my flesh. And if I was? I didn't wait for an answer. The path was already lost course. You must have figured it out already. But I wouldn't be so careless next time. Before you realized what truly was, before you lost control of the wheel, I drove my scalpel into the back of your seat. And I prepared myself to start again. Oh, this loop is going around and around and around, eh? Denial. Is this really the end that I wanted? Not necessarily the end, right? I don't want it to end like this. Where was I? Oh, right. I was driving through the mountains the night someone on the other side. A friend. Met him online a couple of months ago. We never saw him in person though, obviously. That would ruin the surprise after all. I tapped my fingers against the steering wheel. This area is definitely rustic. Small town, small people, small problems. It made things easier. I didn't bother messing with the radio any further. It had long since given up the ghost. I ran my thumb over the cross at my neck, thinking, planning. And then I remembered something. Something important. It was something that I have never happened before, but it was a memory nonetheless. Funny how that works, huh? And that when I saw you, a scrawny little thing close on the side of the road, sticking your thumb out, someone who needed help, so I decided to stop. Well, I decided to stop. I couldn't very much abandon you, could I? But that strange little memory tugged at the back of my head. So I elected to compromise. I flashed my headlights and pulled over a little further down the road from you. I went straight to the trunk as I got out and grabbed some essentials from my bag. Phone, first aid, that sort of thing. Even if it was nothing, I figured there's no harm in being prepared. What that's saying again? A stop clock is right twice a day or something. I closed the trunk and started heading down into your direction. I got the chance to look at the stars as I walked. The sky was gorgeous that night. No light pollution or big ugly buildings to muck up things. I could see the stars the way the Lord intended. It helped me think. I figured I could hang around this area for a while once I was done with the visit. The air could do me some good. When I got close enough, I waved you down to get your attention. You seemed nervous. I don't blame you. Hands in your pockets, I approached with a smile on my face. It just didn't feel right. And now it's the opposite way again. As soon as I saw you, I knew I made the right decision. You were a sorry sight. Like you've been wandering through the woods for days, alone, frightened, desperate. Poor thing, you needed help. Badly. Hey, are you alright? Where are you headed? No response. You didn't even look me in the eyes. Like you knew something that I didn't. I took a step forward. You didn't even flinch. Take as long as you need, okay? No rush. Just tell me when you're ready. Now that you got my attention, your eyes were wavery as you looking for something. I wonder what you thought you would find. You need a ride, right? Just give me a direction, I'll take you there. Still nothing. You looked like you were struggling with something. Only God knew what was going on in the head of yours. But I waited patiently, as long as you needed. It's not like I was going much of anywhere. You ran your fingernails up and down your arm as you were scratching at something. And then, you finally met my gaze. Is there a town nearby? Your voice was parched from thirst. You sounded like you were 2 steps from passing out. No wonder you needed my help. Not for a while yet, unfortunately. I wasn't too keen on the idea of bringing someone who knew my face along with me during my visit. Besides, it wasn't really a lie. The Lord wouldn't forgive me. But there should be a gas station at the next exit. How about a 20-minute drive or so? I could take you there, if you like. Another pause. Something was really getting to you. That would be so much easier if people were just open with their problems. Easier to help that way. But patience is a virtue, and I knew I'd learn the truth eventually. I always did. Please. So polite. The way you spoke made it sound like you were trying to impress somebody, even though I knew you didn't have a lick of trust in me. Poor thing. My car's over there. You good for a short walk? Another nod. Not much hesitation this time. You're already warming up to me. How cute. But not enough to walk ahead of me. I figured, so I took the lead as we made our way back. I pressed a kiss to my cross when you weren't looking. Ah, the stars were so lovely tonight. I almost got lost to them. The steady sound of our footsteps along the mine kept me on track. I wondered if you realized how loudly you were breathing. How long until we decided to make the first move? How long until that distraction of yours got the better of you? I was ready to let it happen. I wanted to have your moment. Patience, as always. We just made it to the car when you finally jumped me. Oh wow. Wow. Again. End up against the door of the driver's seat with your scalpel at my neck. Well, that had been your plan anyway. But I remembered something that never happened before. And now my fingers crossed around your trembling wrist as you strained, trying to desperately drive that blade into my flesh. You were too exhausted to use your full strength, so I watched you struggle in vain. What do you think you're doing? Your teeth ground against each other, so determined to see through. Is that a way to repay a stranger's kindness? I tightened my grip and my nails dug into the bone and fragile skin. You hissed, face scrunched up in pain. It was all the distraction I needed. The side of the car groaned as I slammed your weight into it. My hand was caught in a fistful of your hair. You hung limp from your grasp like a doll. A scalpel slipped out from your fingertips. Your eye twitched where the side of your face has made impact. With a sigh, I tossed you back onto the ground. You struggled to sit up. I kicked the scalpel under the car. No time for silly things like that anymore. And you were still trying to fight, teeth bared, pulling yourself up to your knees. We couldn't have that. And now we... So I pulled my gun out of my pocket and aimed it right at your head. You froze, your eyes wide as ever, like a deer caught in headlights. Poor thing, you really haven't expected this, had you? That's enough, sit down. To my surprise, you completely rather quickly. It's like all the fight in you vanished. All it took was a little tough love, huh? There you go, feeling better now? Your eyes stared, locked, on the barrel, end of the barrel. Care to tell me why you decided to stab me in the back? I kept my voice even gentle, no sense in losing my temper or anything. You swallowed. I could see your lip trembling. You glanced down at the ground beneath the car. Someone was getting ideas. I flicked the side of the gun with my other hand. Finger on the trigger. You jumped at the sound. Eyes up here, buddy. Let's try again, shall we? Why were you trying to kill me? You inhaled sharply. Please. Ah, so you finally found a voice of yours. What was that? I gestured with the end of the gun. Your chest rose and fell, shaking like a leaf. Please, please, don't kill me. You sound like you're about to cry. But that didn't exactly answer my question, now did it? One more time. Think carefully, alright? Come on now, answer the question. Patience is a virtue, but I still have a little left. I can't exactly help those who refuse to help, can I? You didn't hold back this time. The words spilled out of your ugly, messy and everywhere, like a man at a confessional. I don't know. I just scared, and scared? I hummed. So then, you acted on instinct? You nodded furiously. I couldn't help it, so I... Shush. You went silent immediately. Just one more question from me. One more and I'll set you free. Your eyes widened. One more, okay? Think carefully. I tilted my head, meeting yours. Are you a bad person? You didn't respond. You want me to go free, don't you? Answer me then. Are you a bad person? Your stammer unease. I don't know. I don't understand what you're not sure? You aren't, are you? I think you are. I think you are. Did he just shoot me? One quick shot to the thigh. Nothing serious, mind you. Just enough to keep you from causing any trouble. You yelled like a dog and collapsed, clutching your leg to your chest. Poor thing, poor thing. But it's alright. I forgive you, you know. You sounded like you were trying to say something, but only the smallest whisper escaped your lips. Well, maybe not at the moment, but eventually I will, by the time I join you. All will be forgiven. Because he was forgiveness. I bent down to get a better look at you now that you were more reasonable. So sharp and scrawny, it was a wonder that she didn't wind up knocked you over. See, God sent me to take care of people like you. People who threaten the safety of his flock. People who don't bring nothing good into the world and leave all sorts of nasty stuff behind. I brushed your hair out of your eyes, my fingers trailing across the bruise on your cheek. You stared at me with those hatred in those eyes. People like me too? Give them a taste of their own medicine and whatnot. Karma, I think they call it. You spit in my face. I couldn't help but laugh. I know. This is all doesn't make sense to you right now, does it? Usually I try not to mix work and personal business. Makes things simpler that way. But even before I saw you flagging me down, I've been seeing things, visions maybe. I saw your eyes widening as I spoke. Things that haven't happened yet, things that weren't yet to be. Now I don't fancy myself a prophet or anything, but if the Lord's bending my ear, who am I to ignore him? And well, buddy, I wrapped my fist around the lock of your hair and pulled you up to look at me properly. You gone pale as a sheet. I tucked the barrel under your chin and gave you a smile. God wants you dead. What is going on now? End X. Karma. What? Bro. What is going on? What are you? Where was I? Oh, right. So it's going to be the same again. Post the right pictures and say they are watching for months off. This is different now. But whenever your cozy little evening I had planned was furthest thing from my mind. I tapped my fingers. Okay, that's the same. And then I remembered something important. Okay, that's the same. Okay, so we're going through the same motions here. I decided to stop. So in other words, he's gonna park down the thing, grab all the goodies, gun. And we'll probably just choose the other option then. Like, where does this actually go? Where does it end? Because like it goes in a loop, but now it's opposite way. Now it's playing through the minds of the other character. Okay, that's all the same. Here's the gun. I'm interested to see what the other options are. Why don't I just keep driving as well? Do you think he's also not a bad guy? He's actually a bad guy. Oh, we will find out, I guess. You aren't, are you? That's it, I think you are. And then you aren't. You aren't, are you? I smiled. It's alright. It's alright, I can tell. Bad people, they don't come popping up out of the ground, you see. Evil is made, raised. The world just pushes and pushes and pushes, and sooner or later you'll start to push back. Seems reasonable, doesn't it? You didn't say a word, but you didn't have to. So, how to get to that point? Just how far did this world push you? I crouched down to meet your eye level, watching those eyes of yours water. You've been through so much to think that this was your only option. But it never ends, does it? No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you push back, you're always left with the pain, and it never leaves. Your tears stream down to your chin. An endless cycle. Exactly. Round and round it goes. A life like that is enough to break you. You must be exhausted. You nodded. There was such a relief in your face. It's okay, it's okay. You don't have to go through all that anymore. I forgive you. The Lord always forgives. I wrapped the arm around your shoulder and you crumped it like a stack of cards. You fell into me with your fist balled to my chest, wet with tears and snot. I held you as long as you needed, kept you as close as I could. Deep breaths. You can rest now. You're free. I closed my eyes, smiling against your neck. You'll never have to suffer again. You didn't even realize my gun was at your head until it was too late. What the fuck, bro? What? Complex. Wow. Is this the whole clock that we're going to go around? What are you? Where was I? Oh, right. Okay, so we're gonna have the same stuff again. I'm gonna just drive past and see what that option gives. So I kept on driving. I didn't even have a luxury of waiting. Someone was expecting me. Whatever I had seen, or rather I would have not seen. I could handle it later. I still felt your eyes on me as I sped past you all the way down the road. I never saw you again. Okay, so that's common sense was the usual one that we got. Oh, you just never learn, do you? Uh-oh. Ho-ho! What are you? Where was I? Oh, right. Okay, so it's gonna be the same again. I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the difference gonna be now? Because this is all the same that I'm choosing now. What happened now? Did I shoot him now? Did I shoot him straight off the bat? You clutched your side where the bullet hit, hissing through your teeth. Your knees shook as you fought to stay out, blood soaking through your shirt. So I walked over and just shot him straight away this time. You definitely weren't going anywhere anytime soon, but it didn't feel right to just leave you there. Besides, I still had a job to do. I received the vision. I did for the reason, down to the last detail. You had trapped me here for too long already. You watched me suffer and squirm underneath your thumb. But no longer. No more. Things like you weren't meant to exist. Please stop. You clawed at my leg and I pressed the gun down at your forehead. You looked like you were in so much pain. So I granted you mercy. What the actual F is going on? Now it's like... break. Oh, look at this, thing's broken now. Like literally now we don't even know what we're gonna get when you start. I think we've broken the loop. Let me tell you a story. You needed help badly. This was the end for both of us. Oh, you know you're in trouble, don't you, number 8? Me, are you a bad person? Thus we are even. Does that make sense? I insist. No. 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 Where was I? And when was this? The 7th loop? The 8th? The car crashed. That was too obvious. Was it the one where I was stabbed first or the one where I tried to threaten you? I couldn't remember. Oh! Wait, why couldn't I roll back past this point? It wasn't working. Was I stuck again? Was this a memory or some kind of hitch? Or did I finally reach the end? So then, this was it. My final loop. The one ending I had left, and I couldn't even remember which one it was. After all this time, fate won out. So my only option was to give up. Something was moving. A sound off to my left. Oh, must have been you. I guess that you survived the impact this time. Were you still conscious? Then all I could do was look. I was alive, just barely. My breath was slow and uneven, my cross dangling loosely from my neck. Even without looking up, I already knew what had happened. My car crashed, we survived. But nothing to save ourselves. It was a miracle that we're still breathing at all. And you? You? Somehow I knew we were connected to all of this. The memories of all of this hasn't happened yet. The weird sense of deja vu every time I looked at you in your eyes. The little coincidence and oddities that kept piling up. And how I knew that we've been through this before. That we died before. Even though it seemed impossible. But we already had one miracle under our belt. What was the one more? Your eyes bored into mine, red and bloodshot and weepy. If this was how things are going to end anyway, then I didn't have much time to lose. Oh, the sound was more of a croak than anything else, like I haven't had a drink in weeks. I nudged your hand with mine, trying to get your attention. Those eyes of yours, I could never tell if you were actually looking at me or just straight through me. For all I knew, you kept the damn things open when you slept. Certainly wouldn't be the weirdest thing about you. You blinked, owl-like, mouth hung open in the way that you do when you're off on your own world. I shifted in peace, flexing your wrist. Hey, Earth to Point Dexter, you still with me? Now that you got my attention, you jolted as soon as my nail hit your skin. I never realized how many scars you had on your own alone. Were all those bite marks? I'm conscious. I noticed. Not sure how long we have left though. Indeed. You looked away. Never a good sign. So I think I ought to know the truth before I kick the bucket. How? How do you mean? Cut the crap. You're not nearly as good as liars as you think you are. You huffed. So tell me what you're really doing on here. At the very least, so I know who to blame for it. It's not that simple. Most things in life aren't. Tell me anyway. You took your time rolling your lip between your teeth. You are correct. You deserve to know. Yet, even so, you swallowed. For some reason, you looked real small all of a sudden. Even so, couldn't you? Couldn't you do something for me in return? I glanced up. A look of absolute bewilderment crossed your face. I didn't blame you. I had already done so much, and to ask you yet another thing was nothing short of selfish, to say the least. I wouldn't forgive me either. I mean, it depends. Within reason, obviously. That's already more than enough. It is, nothing major. My gaze fell upon where your hand was touching mine. Ghostly and rough skin hidden underneath a worn leather glove. The hand of a worker. How little I knew about you even now. I'm not the best at telling stories. Speaking in general is difficult. But I did enjoy listening to them. So once I'm finished, could you tell me a story as well? Immature, selfish, stupid. A request that everything I hated to be and more. But when the world ended around me, I want that indulgence. Sure. To my surprise, you answered without an ounce of hesitation, like it was nothing. But I'm warning you, storytelling ain't my forte either. Ain't too great at talking too, but it gets the job done. I couldn't resist a smile tugging at my lip. It most certainly does. I took a deep breath. How much do you remember about tonight, about me? You clicked your tongue, taking a moment to respond. Let's see. I remember when you couldn't stop laughing, even as you were dying. Actually, I couldn't really tell if you were laughing or not. In general, I remember meeting you for the first time. Anything else? Well, I remember trying to strike up conversation one time, but you went and stabbed me right in the middle of it. Said something real creepy too. And now one other thing. Oh, I remember shooting you. I'll be wondering if you were going to bring that up. I've seen so many impossible things, and I thought something unholy, something God needed me to kill. But the more I remember now, the more I think you're just someone who as lost as I am. I waited, making sure that you finished before I spoke, or procrastinate on getting out with it, more like. Everything that you've just told me did occur once, in one timeline or another. I remember everything, every death, every ending. Sometimes I've lost track of the details here and there. But even as the world moves on without us, I have kept you here, looping again and again. You sighed. I figured it was something like that. Doesn't take a genius to put two and two together. How long has it been going on? I am uncertain. Long enough that I cannot roll back any further. Days, undoubtedly weeks, possibly, perhaps. At the point, it's more than times than you could possibly comprehend. And a sob bubbled up in my throat before I could push back down. I squeezed my eyes shut. I can't keep going on any longer. My voice cracked, and I couldn't bring myself to hold it in. As disgusting and shameful as useless as I felt, I sobbed there in the dirt once reality came crashing down on me. All this time, I've been trying to escape the stupid cycle. Breaking out, getting captured, being punished, trying to break out again over and over and over. Something in my chest was acting like it's never heard before. I sniffed, wiping my nose on my sleeve. I really thought that this time it would be good, that I could escape and find a better ending. But now, I'm stuck in the world of another cycle. and I've gone and roped you into it. I stopped trying to breathe properly again, and I felt revolting. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you got dragged into all of this. My fingers dug into the ground. My nails scraped all the dirt and loam and ash and filth they could find. I wanted to scratch my arms instead, so badly, but it hurts too much to move. If I could just sink my teeth in, maybe I could just dull the pain away, just like usual. And then I felt something. Your hand. You were squeezing mine, firm yet so gentle. So I opened my eyes. Let me tell you a story. I said it so casually, like it was the faintest possible idea what I was doing. I didn't know. I didn't care, and all I knew that it was the end of everything, and someone needed my help. Whenever pain you were going through, how much you had suffered, I promised you a story with a happy ending. And if God has abandoned me here, then I sure as hell wasn't going to do the same to you. I took a deep breath and looked up at the stars. This is a story about a scorpion. A scorpion with a big venomous stinger and a scary looking claws. One day the scorpion needed to get across the wide open river. But he couldn't swim, obviously, so he went to ask someone for help. Why did he need to cross the river? Who knows, to get to the other side? Oh. Then, who did the scorpion ask for help? Turtle. He asked the turtle that was resting nearby on the riverbank. Isn't it supposed to be a frog? Hey, who's the one telling the story here? You snorted. Carry on then. So the scorpion asked the turtle for a ride across the river. The turtle was a strong swimmer and was powerful shell to defend itself, so this could make it cross with no problem. The turtle had nothing to fear, so he told the scorpion to climb right on aboard, and the two set off. But a scorpion's nature is to sting that which it sees. While they were swimming across the river, the scorpion would have no choice but to attack its friend. A scorpion's stinger couldn't pierce the turtle's shell, no matter the nature. The turtle wouldn't get hurt. Then, would the turtle even notice the scorpion had tried to kill him at all? Yeah, he would. He would have. The turtle would sense the movement on his back and feel the stinger press against the shell. Then the turtle would have been to drown the scorpion. What? God granted the turtle with the means to defend itself, did he not? Then it would have been the turtle's duty to wreak justice on the sinful scorpion. Right. I guess so. I don't think I like the story very much. It's the only one I got, buddy. If you don't like it, come up with a better ending. It's not that simple. No? Why not? The future is what you make of it. The nature of the scorpion cannot be denied. No matter how many times he tries, his fate has already been determined. What? Like destiny or something? No. Just a stupid self-sabotage. I squeezed your hand. It doesn't have to be that way, you know. I have no say in the matter. It's the very essence of my endless cycle. My ending will always remain the same. Even if you escape it, there's no escape. I thought the same thing one time. Though whenever I gave in, through all the months of hard work in the gutter for the same sake of another quick smoke, there was no point in even trying. That the most struggle harder it would be. And I was wrong. And I was wrong. The effort that comes with getting yourself out of something like that is never really ends. You don't just break out and then you're home free. You have to keep going. As much as it sucks, it's committed. How much more committed do I have to be? Your voice was full of venom. You have to no idea how long you have to be trying. No idea how much. My fingers curled around yours as you took a shaky breath. How much How much have I had to just get this far? If the reason why I'm still here is only because I didn't try hard enough, then maybe I was never actually had a chance in the first place. Maybe so. What? Maybe you just don't have it in you to go this alone. No shame in it. Happens to the best of us. That is why you got to know to cut your losses and ask someone for help. You huffed. You make it sound so easy. I know. What was it that you said earlier? It's not that simple. And you're right, it isn't. But if you really tried everything and you're about ready to give up anyway, what else do you have to lose? Nothing. But the same cannot be said for the person helping me. That's on them. Their life, their choices. I would still be responsible for the hardship they suffer. Why did I just say? You went quiet again, but had enough of this anyway. What are you? Come on, you. Up at him. Even at every part of the body screamed in protest, I pulled myself onto my feet, using one of the trees nearby to keep my balance. But I didn't let go of your hand. You are going to kill yourself if you try to move that much. Yeah. You killed me plenty of times already. I can't handle it. As I said this, I plucked one piece of shrapnel from my stomach and hissed as the pain hit me all over. Case in point. Oi, that's enough out of you, you wise guy. Come on, get moving. Excuse me? Sliding my hand down to the form and yelped as I pulled up beside me. I saw your leg was twisted, bent and broken. In all the ways it was. I eased you onto your shoulder to help you stand. You coming with me, buddy? This better ending of yours that you want so badly. Wherever it is, wherever you're gonna find it. You wobbled, you clinged to my arm for dear life. This is ridiculous. We could not make it in a single step, much less far enough to find help. I dragged us forever past the tree. You practically shrieked. See? Look at that. A step. We'll be out of here before you know it. Your nails dug into the fabric of my shirt. Why should we bother? I grunted, gulping for another branch to hold on to while I pulled us forward. It hurt to breathe. Listen, I have no idea what kind of higher power that you serve, but God put me here for a reason, and the reason is to rid the world of bad people and look after the good ones. No matter how this ends, whether I get somewhere safe or die trying, I'm doing exactly what I set out to do. We took the next few steps in silence as my boots slid across the dirt, your bad foot dragging behind you. You're insane. Nope, just stupid. Now, are you gonna help us walk or what? I didn't expect you to respond or do anything, really. I was perfectly content and keep on going until I couldn't anymore. But instead, you reached out to touch my chest and... Oi! It felt like I'd been shocked in the gut. Something reverberated through me and it took a second for me to shake off the impact. What the fuck did you do to me? But you didn't answer. When I looked down, I saw you gone completely limp. Oi! Oi! You didn't move a muscle. Your head rolled to the side, nose bleeding, streaming down your lips. And then I realized how much better I was feeling. I looked down at my stomach where the glass had sliced open from the crash. It was like the wound was closing on its own. Not healing per se, but bending together like I've never seen at all. Like it was reversing itself or rolling back. I kept moving, arched like hell, but my strength came back to me. I hoisted up on my shoulder and carried you as far as I could. It was like you weighed nothing at all. I had no idea how long we were stuck here, but I had no idea how much time we would lose, how the world would change since we were last part of it. But I knew one thing for certain. I was going to find us a better ending, even if it killed me. even if there was no point in trying, even if neither of us really deserved it, because God knows we needed it. In zero, nurture. Nurture? Nurture? A game by Clown Dream and Sam Tudor. Is that the end? So that's what, oh, wow. Game engine. Programmer writing. Special thanks. And you for listening until the end. And we got to the very end of the game. It took us a while, but we got there. That was quite a long play. Was not expecting that. Thank you for playing the scorpion and the frog. And I gotta choose the bloody turtle. I wonder if it would have changed anything if it chose something different. Thank you for playing. That was pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Very strange way, right? You have now unlocked the ending gallery. There you can view all the endings that you received along with the ones that you have yet to receive. Simply select the option labeled bonus from the main menu to visit it. I hope you enjoyed the strange little story as known as Hitchhiker. Although the clock is stopped, if you would play through the game again, you might visit me here where it all began. I hope you find a better ending that you seek. Interesting. Okay, so we got like all these ones. Wow, okay, so it does this. So we're basically missing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different endings. But we got quite a bit, and we got nurture at the end there. Okay, I like that a lot. Thank you, Jem, for sharing this weird and wonderful one with us. I really enjoyed it. Like, it had its moments, don't get me wrong. I was still trying to figure out like what is actually happening here, but then you get to play both sides of the spectrum of the story, and you're trying to make your way to a better ending, if I must say. And at the end of the day, your decisions, your choices make you or put you towards those points. Like, you're not 100% stuck to destiny in that way. So you make your choices as you make them, and if it's good choices, it's good choices. If it's bad choices, you live with them and you move on and you move forward, and you hopefully pray that you make better ones as you go through your life. And I think that's probably what this story is about itself, and it's going to be interesting to see what the other options do unlock and give you. But I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I hope everyone else enjoyed this video with me. As always, do give the video a fat thumbs up. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. We do quite a lot of different gaming stuff and videos and things like that. And yeah, just comment down below what you thought of the game, what endings that you lined up getting. And if you have any other recommendations, I am down to give them a go. So yeah, hope everyone had a good day. Stay safe, God bless, and the full army salutes you. Catch you on the next video. Coming at you very, very soon. Adios now. Bye-bye.